Hello and welcome to the Horror Movie Maniacs podcast. Thanks for tuning in. This is a podcast all about horror movies. I am your host, Ben, and I'm here with my co host, as always, Grant.
What is happening?
You all right, man? How's things?
You didn't answer what's happening though.
What's happening right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're going to do it again, man. We're going to record yet another episode.
Oh, damn.
How about that? You didn't know, no? You just thought it was a quick Zoom
No, I
meeting.
just thought you wanted to chat.
I mean, I do. I'd love a chat with
No,
you.
doesn't seem like it.
I get to see your pretty face.
Stop it.
Yeah, you
Dirty
love the
bugger.
compliments.
Yes, we are here again.
Yes, we are. So yeah,
What
thanks for
I would
listening.
say, what I would say is the greatest podcast on earth.
I'd say it's pretty good too, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan can jog on, if you ask me.
I think we're just a touch behind him, but we're nearly there.
Yeah, not far. I mean, don't get me
Not
wrong, I
far.
love Joe Rogan, but we're better. So,
Yeah. But no, thank you. If you do listen regularly, thank you very much. Well, even if you don't listen regularly, if you just pluck one out every
why
now
the
and
hell
again,
don't you?
well, yeah, why don't you for one?
What the
And
hell?
two, thanks for listening anyway, or thanks for checking us out at least.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Also, for those listening on the podcast, on Spotify or Apple or whatever, this is also going to be going out on YouTube for the very first time.
Damn straight it is.
So yeah, pop over. You can actually see what we look like if you don't already know. So there you go.
We
Although
do
that
not
might,
have a face for radio.
I was going to say, although that might put you off.
Shunners.
But anyway, right. Shall we get down to what we're actually here for this week,
Yeah,
Grant?
because we're here to talk about the greatest horror movie ever made. Facts. I don't want to hear any arguments.
It's one of the best.
No. The best.
You
I want to
do
make
love a
that
bit of
very
this one.
clear.
Do you want to, I mean, they'll know already by the title of the video and the podcast, but do you want to enlighten, do
It goes
you
a
want to
mystery,
enlighten
doesn't it?
everyone? Go on.
Ah, yeah. Sorry, that's what we're doing. We're here to talk about It Follows, Ben.
Hey, yes,
It
we are
bloody
indeed.
follows.
Been looking forward to doing this one for a while, actually.
Yes, because it's unbelievable. I even got a tattoo of it on my leg, Ben. That's how much I like it.
Fuck yeah, you have, haven't you? Yeah. I mean, I would ask
So,
you to show everybody now, but that's a bit of an
I
ask,
mean,
isn't it?
I
Well,
kind of
if
can.
you,
Here you go.
you kind of can.
Here you go.
Look at that. Look at that.
It's like an
It's
artistic version of the front cover where she's like strapped to the chair.
I've seen it in
Right at
person.
the
It's
beginning.
bloody great. We share the same tattooist, don't we? Actually, so
We do. We do.
yeah,
Miss
lovely
Sarah.
lady. Yeah,
She's
lovely
a very
lady,
lovely
Sarah.
lady.
She should listen to this podcast.
She should. I'm going back in April and getting Total Recall tattoo.
Oh man, cool. That's good. It's a good
Damn
film.
straight.
The '90s one, right?
Yeah, that other one isn't even. That's not it. Do you know what I mean? That's not Total Recall. That's something else.
Yeah, exactly, man. Let's move on. Okay, right. Yeah, so we're here to talk about It Follows, a film which came out in 2014 in the US of A. Came out in
I couldn't
2015
believe that.
over here in the UK. I know, 10 years old, man. 10
10
years
years
old
old.
already. I'd love it to
Couldn't
go
believe
back
it.
to the cinema, but I don't think it will.
I don't know if I saw this in the cinema. I
I didn't.
remember
No. I think it had quite a
because
limited release over here.
it kind of come out of nowhere. This one.
Yeah, it really did. I remember seeing the reviews everywhere and all like the bus stop posters going 5 out of 5, brilliant film, brilliant film. And then I couldn't find anyone
Damn
to go
straight.
watch it with. And at that time, I
Yeah.
wasn't one to go to the cinema by myself. I do now on occasion, but yeah, back then I wouldn't. I kind of wish I had. So
Yeah, I think I like this one so much because it. No, well, one, I don't think many people talk about it. I might be wrong, but I don't hear it mentioned.
no, I think you're right.
Um, and it's also one of those films that just came along, absolutely crushed it, and then just went away.
Yeah, yeah, fully agree.
And that's why I like it so much as well, because I'll start doing sequels and stuff. It'll just get crappy.
Yeah, as it stands, it is just a standalone film, isn't it? A one and done.
Mm.
Although the sequel has actually been announced.
Oh, that's good.
It is good and it isn't. It depends, I mean, if they have a nailed on decent idea, then I'm all for it. But if it's, and I hope they do, because otherwise they wouldn't have left it 10 years, surely. Um,
Yeah,
so I'm excited, but I'm also a bit
yeah,
pessimistic
I'm
at
not
the
sure
same
because
time.
you can't carry straight on from the second one because one of the good parts about It Follows was the very last scene where the couple are walking down the street and there's someone walking behind them. Could be
Yeah,
nothing, but
I was going to say we've come on to that. We've gone right to the end already.
yeah,
But yeah,
Oh,
we'll
spoilers,
flip
by
back.
the way.
Flip. Oh yeah. We'll flip back round to the ending later on, if that's okay with you, Grant.
I guess it's going to have to be in it.
Yeah, I'm going to hit you up with some of the fact
Yeah.
stuff now. You know, the monies and who's in it and stuff. So it's directed by David Robert Mitchell. Um, the budget for
Dave Mitchell.
this is 1.3 US dollars. No,
Do you know what? I
1.3
actually knew
million.
that.
1.3
Yeah.
million, not
Yeah.
1.3. That's very
What a
low
deal.
budget, isn't it? But yeah, so
What a
just
deal.
over, well, nearly a million and a half. Um, and it took 23.3 million worldwide.
That's not enough.
It's not enough, but you've got to remember this was a small production. It wasn't a big film. So originally, when it test screened, it flopped
Mm.
massively. They screened it to a load of people between the ages of like 18 and 25, and they didn't like it. They're like, no, no, not for
Well, they're
us.
all bloody idiots.
Which is odd because that's the kind of age group it seems to or should appeal to with the young cast and that kind of thing.
Didn't like
But
it.
yeah, no, so it flopped. So originally, but it had a bit of a turnaround of fortunes. So um, as it went on, people started talking about it though, and it got some good word of mouth. So it was originally supposed to go on VOD, video on demand streaming
Hmm.
service, but the word of mouth from other people got so big that it was actually a very good film. The company, one of the production companies, I think, Radius, said, no, we're pulling the VOD release and we're going to release it in the cinema.
Good.
Obviously, the right choice to make. So,
Yeah. Too
yeah, the
bloody
rest
right.
is history. So it made 15 times its budget, basically.
Yeah, I mean that's good. Excuse me. 20 million though.
Yeah, it is
Shocking.
good. It's good. Yeah, but it's good for that kind of film as well. I mean, at the
Yeah, profit
time,
wise, you're laughing. Yeah.
I don't really think. I actually think this was one of the first films that kind of almost kick-started that. They now call it like elevated horror, don't they? That highbrow horror, art house kind of horror. And I'd
Hmm.
say this is potentially one that I remember sort of first starting that kind of phrase off. I might be wrong. If there's
No,
guys
I'm
who are
sure you're
listeners,
right.
if there's any others that you can think of around the same time, but I'm pretty sure it was in the mix. You know. Um,
Yeah, it
yeah. So
certainly was a
right.
film that made me pay attention amidst of all the hundreds of other horrors.
Yeah.
This one
Yeah.
still is the top of my list.
Yeah, definitely. I think it seemed very unique as well, but we'll come back to that
Hmm.
in a bit as
Yeah, I
well.
think I love the way it made me feel uncomfortable for the entire thing.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely
so
agree.
we're pretty seasoned now. We don't really get scared. I'd say.
No,
But this one,
little,
you just feel
little bit.
uncomfortable. Yeah,
Yeah.
sometimes. It's a video game, sure. But yeah, this film
Yeah.
made me feel
Yeah.
really uncomfortable the entire time.
Yes, I
It's just
completely
that threat
agree.
of you could. It's hard to explain. So, unlike a lot of films, we know when a jump scare's coming,
Yeah.
and I often just think like, mix it up, but don't
Yeah. Yeah.
make it be obvious. And this
Yeah.
film nailed that. You don't know when it's coming.
It
It's
does.
just
And it
someone
actually
walking.
has it actually has a really good one right near the start. Let me just finish up on the numbers and stuff, and then we'll flip back to the start of the film.
Get him
Because
a
that's
vibe, man.
I think the start of the film is a really important bit. So I checked out the reviews and stuff for this, and IMDb give it 6.8 out of 10, which for them is pretty good, I think.
Excuse me, that's really respectable.
Yeah, yeah. Rotten Tomatoes, the critics bit give it 95%,
Oh, that's damn good.
which is spot on if you ask me. But the general public side of it, the popcorn meter or whatever they call it now, is 66%. So two-thirds like it, a third doesn't. That's fair.
Okay.
Letterboxd 3.5 out of 5. Google reviews, 75% of people liked it. So the reviews are generally kind of very similar across the board, apart from the
I'd
critics
say
and
that's
Rotten
fair.
Tomatoes. Yeah, I wouldn't.
I mean,
I'd
this
like
is
to see
just
them a bit.
one that I love, but
Yeah, same.
I'd say that's fair.
I'd like to see it a bit higher. When the film came out in the UK, it was given a 15 certificate, which I think was fair. And
Yeah, yeah.
then runtime of about an hour and 40 minutes, which I like. I don't like overly long horrors.
Mm. And there are some not drawn out bits, but there's some very slow parts in this film.
See,
Um,
I don't
it
overly.
doesn't overstay its welcome.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, definitely. Shall I run through a couple of the cast quick, and then we'll get into the meat of it?
Damn straight.
Yeah. So the main person in this now is, and I might be saying this wrong because I did look up the pronunciation. I've always pronounced it
Yeah,
Micah Monroe,
that's how I say it.
but I do think you can say Maker. I think Micah. I think it's Micah.
It's got to be
Micah
Micah.
Monroe. Anyway, she plays Jay Height, the main girl in it.
Hmm.
Then you've got Keir Gilchrist, who plays Paul, the absolutely obsessed friend who just wants to get with her at all costs.
It's the
um,
youngest looking teenager I've ever seen.
yeah, yeah. Olivia Lucardi, who plays Yara Davis, who's just one of the friend group.
Is that
And
the bookie
then,
nerd one?
yeah, she's reading something all the time on that shell-like device,
Oh yeah, I've got a
which I
fun
thought
fact
was
about that.
like, that's good. Do you want to hit us with it now? Or-
Yeah, might as well. Um, it's I won't go into it too much, but the whole blend of the film was to make sure you don't know what time period it was. So if you look,
Oh,
there's cars that are all different, clothes are all different,
I was going to bring this up
and
actually.
yeah, that shell. It was,
Mm,
I believe, it was almost like an old texting device, or maybe it was a mirror or something. But they
okay.
turned it into like a Kindle thing. Um,
Yeah, because I
so
was
it's its
thinking of,
own. Sorry, go on.
no, I was just thinking I've never seen anything like that, and I'm an old guy.
Yeah, I think they made it just for this to confuse people because it's like it's an ebook, but it's also this old device. And then he uses it as a torch later on as well in the movie,
Yeah,
just
definitely
so you
confused
like
me.
no idea. Yeah,
Yeah,
but it was meant to be like
definitely
that.
confused me. That's good. That's good. But yeah, I couldn't put my finger on the time period. There was an old TV or a couple of old TVs.
Yep.
Some of the houses looked old. Some of the cars looked old. There was no mobile phones,
Yeah,
um,
true.
and the devices and stuff they were throwing in the swimming pool and that looked older. So I thought it was sort of maybe 80s, early 90s, maybe, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. He done it so you wouldn't be able to guess it.
That's good. Yeah, I like it.
You
There's
wanted it to
also a
feel
couple
like
of
it's
other
real.
people I'd say worth a mention. So Lily Seppi plays Kelly Height, which is Jay's
Yeah,
sister. Again, I probably
yeah, yeah,
pronounced
yeah.
that wrong.
She was
You've
good.
got Bailey Spree, who played Annie, and I'll come on to Annie in a minute. And then you've
Yeah.
got Lauren Bass, who plays Annie's dad,
Mm-hmm.
which I don't think you actually see.
No,
And
you
then
don't
you've
do. He's
got,
just on the phone, isn't she?
yeah, and then you've got Daniel Zavato, who plays Greg, and
Yeah.
Jake Weary, who plays Jeff slash Hugh,
Oh, the boyfriend.
the
Wow.
boyfriend. Yes. So,
Yeah.
yeah, should we start by, for those of you listening to the podcast, we're going to run the trailer for you. For those watching on YouTube, going to pop a link up somewhere, possibly over here, maybe over here. Who knows? First time doing this. But right, shall we crack on and talk about the opening scene of It
Let's
Follows?
goddamn do it, Ben.
Yeah, I personally think this is one of the best opening scenes in any horror movie that I've seen.
Oh, what a
It's
statement. You're right, though.
it's completely memorable. So it opens with a girl just running about, basically. She's in high heels, but looks like nightwear.
Yeah,
Um,
she looks very young, and this is where they do some awesome camera work as well, isn't it? Which we've actually tried to not tried to we've liked it so much we've tried to put it in our film a little bit, the little movie we're making.
yeah, definitely.
Not
This
to
has
drop
definitely
anything
inspired
down.
us. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Sorry,
so
go on. I interrupted you.
she's just running around, and then you hear someone go, "Are you okay?" And then she's still running, and then he's you hear someone say, "Oh, what are you doing?" or whatever. You're taking the car, and then she jumps in the car and drives off.
Yeah, she
She
runs
looks at
outside, then runs back in the house, then runs back outside, and you're just like, well, what is going on?
yeah, she's just grabbing the car keys, doesn't she? And then she
Yeah.
drives off, ends up sitting at the beach. And then you hear her ringing her parents saying how much she loves them and stuff. And you're like, what is happening? Why? What's happening here? What's going on? What's the story and stuff? And then there's a shot that I really like. You see the shot of the car she's driving with the door open, but the back lights are still on. So you've got a red
Mm.
glow coming off either side of the car. It's a really artistic, visually pleasing shot, I would say.
You do love a bit of colour, don't you?
Really do. And then it cuts back to her and she's on the phone. And then what gets me here, that this is obviously we're going to go into massive spoiler territory. But what gets me here is when it cuts to the shot of her mutilated body that's twisted up and broken and cut.
The legs
Um,
bent forwards and backwards.
yeah, exactly. There's no massive sound effect. So
No,
it's almost a jump scare, but without the jumpy music, which I absolutely loved.
mm. It's
It's
one of the reasons
clever.
I love this one so much
Yeah,
because it
it's
just does it
clever. It's
so subtly.
Yeah, exactly. You've got a really gruesome, horrific image on the screen, and there's no jump scare music like stuff like Insidious, Conjuring. You have those
Mm.
big musical notes come flying in, make you jump. This is just a shocking visual.
It wouldn't have fit though, would it? It would have just not made any sense. I mean, obviously, if you went that way for the whole film, it would make sense. But if you did it there and then it doesn't happen later, it would just seem
Yeah,
very odd.
yeah, yeah. No, it's
And I also
extremely
like
well
about that
done.
scene is she looks into the woods. Not as well, she looks into the sort of shoreline and she
Mm,
starts to freak out because she sees it, but we don't get to see it, which is another move I like.
yes, very good point. Very good point. Yeah.
I've got lots of them.
Good, good. Where do you want to go from here, man? Because we won't run
So
through the whole
many.
film, but I did want to start with that cold open there because it is so. It felt
Yeah, I mean, no, no, you're absolutely right. It does. I mean, the film we won't go into great depth into it, but obviously it does a little bit of setup. But I like the scene where Jay, wait, well, she gets put to sleep, doesn't she? So she gets a bit frisky with her boyfriend. Well, no, actually, I'm jumping. Ignore me. She goes to the cinema
that's
with her man friend,
yeah
um,
yeah.
and they're playing that guy. I can't remember what the game's called, but they're playing
Oh
the
yeah,
game. Oh, who could you be, or whatever it was.
yeah.
Um,
Trade. She calls it trading something, doesn't she, or trade something? So
Trading places or something.
who would you trade lives with, or basically like yeah.
Yeah. And he picks a lady at the back. He says, "That girl in the yellow dress back there. She
Yeah.
can't see it." And it goes on like that for a minute or two, and then he freaks out and he legs it out of there with her, and they go and have a nice date, don't they?
Yeah, they
Um,
do. Before that, though, he picks somebody else first of all, doesn't he? He picks the kid
the little
before
kid,
the
yeah.
girl. But yeah, he picks the kid, and she's like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, because that kid's got his whole life ahead of him." And you're like, "What?
Yeah,
Why would you?" And she's like, "You're only like 21 or something, you know." But obviously, what we don't know is that he's being followed and he's going to die. So it makes perfect sense
yeah. It
when
does
you
make a
look
lot
at.
of sense.
And the film's very clever like that. Like you say, he does then
Yeah,
freak out and run off. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
amazing.
So,
Yeah, and then so he freaks out and they leg it out of there, go for dinner, and then
mm.
a few more days go by, and she decides to get frisky in a car.
Yes, indeed. Yes, yes.
Cheeky Jay.
Yeah, yeah. Because originally it's like she said something to her sister about, no, I don't think I'm going to sleep with him, or whatever, doesn't
Mm.
she? So she
Yeah,
obviously
yeah,
changes her mind. But
yeah.
um,
Say so.
again, this scene in the car, not to be hopefully too weird, but it's really well framed and it's really well lit. So they're sitting in the forest, and the no, I know, but
See all of it.
the camera shot is side on, isn't it, to the car, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's pitch black outside, and you just see what's going on via the lights in the car.
Mm. I like that one as
Again,
well because it's obviously the front cover for a lot
yeah,
of the stills for the movie.
yeah. Again, it's just extremely artistic,
Mm.
So
Although I know they're trying to be artsy, but a bit where she's laying out the car and she's just like playing with that flower on the floor.
yeah.
I was getting really bored on that bit. I still do now. I'm like,
Really?
get on with it. Like, what are you
See,
doing?
I know I love the camera angle. The angle's really strange because he's got out the car to go and do whatever, isn't he? And then when he enters the car from the other door, like on the other side of the car, I think it just
Yeah, yeah.
looks really sort
No,
of
I like that bit.
different.
It's just the chatting and talking, and I was just get on with it.
Yeah, no,
But
that's
yeah,
fair enough. He
then
looks
he
like he's
knocks her
being
out.
all, yeah, he looks like he's being all loving and kind, and he kissing her neck and stuff, and then he just
Yeah,
fucking smothers her,
does a
and
bit of
yeah,
chloroform, doesn't he?
yeah, and then next minute she's strapped in the wheelchair up in the car
Yeah, this is
park.
where it starts to get good.
Yes, it does indeed. Do you want to take it from here?
Oh God, yeah. So he basically explains how it all works. He says, "This demon is essentially an STD." Um, you can think about it.
Basically, yeah,
He
I
says,
think so.
"Yeah, this thing will follow you. It can look like anyone. Don't let it touch you. Always keep moving. Always have a room with two exits, and so on."
Yeah,
And he says you can pass it on. Just sleep with someone.
yeah.
Um, yeah, and
So,
then go on.
oh no, sorry, go on.
No, no, you go.
I was just thinking at this point here, it was good that we got some explanation as to what's going on, but I was thinking, how does he know all that?
Well, I mean, the person
How
before
does
might have
he?
done that.
But I was thinking, how does he know that you have to sleep with someone to pass it on? Blah blah. Yeah. But then we find out how later on, don't we?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and he's all panicky. He's looking around. What's he looking at?
mm.
And then he's like, "It's here." He goes and does he grab her?
He pushes her. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He goes and
he
grabs her.
pushes the wheelchair forward, doesn't he? And she can see
Yeah,
the naked woman below the car
yeah,
park, I
yeah.
think.
And then
And then
I did wonder the first time I saw this. I was like, why is he hanging around for so long?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
then he sort of like jumps around in front of her just to make sure that he's definitely not following him anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you get that really weird, crazy camera shot of him like running with her and spinning around and all sorts.
Yeah,
And the camera's like whizzing about everywhere. And then you see the woman's now in the car park with them, isn't she?
yeah.
Getting closer and
She's a
closer. And what
mobile
is it?
demon.
What's that?
She's a mobile demon, if you call it a
She is.
demon.
They walk quite slow, don't they? But they get
Yeah,
around. And
they
also,
do
I
get
was
around.
going to touch on this later, but why are most of them naked or partially naked?
I do think agree with you there, Ben, because the one I really questioned was the one titty girl in the house later on.
Yeah, one titty,
She's
one shoe,
pissing all over the floor.
exactly. And then also later on, we're jumping ahead again, but when Greg's mum attacks him
Greg's
and she
mum, yeah,
lands on the, she has one tit out as well.
singular titty.
So you
Make
know,
your mind up. Both or none.
one tit horror. There you go. It's a new genre.
One titty
So
horror.
yeah, there you go. But yeah, I don't know. I just
Plenty of nips.
something something we both noticed along the way.
Yeah, I don't. Well, most of them I don't really care about, but it's the one with one boob at the girl that's weeing everywhere that breaks in through the kitchen window.
Yeah, yeah.
She got a boob out.
I don't know.
Put it away.
How am I going to know? But
Why are you weeing everywhere?
yeah. But the going back to the naked woman in the car park scene, this is where the scary
Mhm.
stuff starts to really happen, isn't it? So
Yeah, this is where you really
that's
start to feel uncomfortable.
yeah, that's it. And then he does take Jay back home, doesn't he? He gets her in the
But yeah, it's
car,
very
drives her back
kind.
home, and then she
Dumps her
comes
on the
falling out
floor,
the
legs it.
car. Yeah, and all her friends run over and stuff. So this is
Yeah,
when they start to realise that her boyfriend Jeff isn't actually Jeff, and they've got no clue who he is.
bloody Jeff.
Bloody Jeff. Yeah, fuck's sake.
Little Jeff.
So making people called Jeff, giving them all a bad name, isn't he?
Bloody Jeff.
I know, I know. Where do we go from here?
Well, we're getting into the route of going down the entire film, so let's not do that.
Yeah, okay. Where do you
People will
want
get bored.
to? Yes, they will. It's
I
because
don't
we
know,
love
shall
it
we?
so much, man. It's because we love it
Yeah,
so
no,
much.
I agree. But I think we're on a good roll here. Why don't we talk about the iterations of it? So we've touched
Yeah.
on Greg's mum, the girl weeing herself.
Yes. So the demon, the entity, the whatever it is, can literally
Hmm,
take the shape or form of anyone you know, anyone you don't know,
hmm.
any person basically at all. So
And the first one she sees when she obviously not the lady in the car park, but when she's back in school or college or whatever.
mm,
She's that old lady, isn't she? She's in a like a
yeah,
patient gown,
yeah, yeah,
walking
she is.
towards her,
Yes.
and, and then she's in the hallway. She still doesn't know if it's right. And does she say like, there's those two young girls there, and she says something like, "What do you want?" or something.
I
Oh
think
no,
so.
she goes, "Hello," and the other girl goes, "Hi," and then she
Right.
just sprints.
Yeah, I
This is
do.
where it confirms. Probably wondering why I said that, but it confirms that it is only her that can see it,
Right. Okay.
which is
Good
something we
point.
didn't mention before.
No, that is something we didn't mention. Yes, it's very good. And also, why do we find old people just walking towards us scary?
Don't know, but I found it bloody scary. It's
I
scarier
found
than the
it
young versions.
I found it bloody scary as well. But I did ask myself why after. I was like, hang on a minute. There's been a few sort of scary old people things lately. Um, like
They're just
X,
scary,
obviously.
man.
X, you've got Pearl. She's
Oh
scary when
yeah,
she's older, well, and when she's younger. Um, and yeah,
yeah, she is.
it also reminded me of like the naked people and the oldness reminded me of The Shining a little bit because the naked woman
Yeah.
in the room comes out the bar.
Don't know why I'm saying that because I still haven't seen it. But
Okay, but there's an old naked lady in that, so maybe it stems from that. Also,
it just
just
works, doesn't it?
yeah, just diverting quickly as well, saying about influences. There was a bit of music. I think it's right at the start in the cold open, um, where there's a bit of music that's playing, and it reminded me of John Carpenter's Halloween, just the way the beats
Okay,
go. So maybe that was a slight influence on this film as well.
maybe lots of films, obviously, obviously they take a lot of influence from others.
Yeah.
Um,
But sorry, I've gone off on a tangent. Let's go back to the demon iterations and all of that. So we've
yeah,
got the
no,
old woman,
we've
got the
got
old woman in
the tall
school,
one, haven't we?
mate.
That comes in through
This
the
is
bedroom
my
door.
this is my scariest scare ever. Right, when I first saw this
It
film,
was scary.
I literally nearly shut myself for seeing this for the first time. I don't know.
Still gets me
Again,
now,
there's
and I know it's coming.
yeah, there's not even a scary noise. He just walks through the doorway.
It's because that guy, she's not coming in, the door's knocking, and actually
Yeah,
it's her friends, and they close the door. So it's that whole, oh my God, she's in trouble. No, she's safe because she shut the door. Now
yeah.
she's let her friends in. No, she's unsafe. She shut the door. She's safe again. And
There's
then they
just a
knock the door
9 foot.
again.
Yeah, and there's like a 9 foot man there.
He just strolls in through the door.
He does.
And then
He
it does this
does.
big go slow motion. It does, doesn't it?
It's sort of. Yeah, I think it
It's when
sort of
she
does
starts
go sort
freaking
of
out.
slow and then
Yeah,
oh maybe. Yeah, I can't remember.
I
And
think so.
the door one is after she's seen the one titty, one shoe, piss yourself girl in the
Yeah, that's
kitchen
why she's legged it
downstairs.
upstairs. Yeah,
That's it. Yeah, yeah. So we're getting full on at this point. We're getting really scared. So
yeah.
yeah,
And
maybe it's a
then it's
combo of
not, go
go
on, it's a
on.
combo.
Just gonna say it's a combo maybe of the girl downstairs and then the massive dude upstairs just really got to me. But
It is a bit of an assault on your senses, isn't it, in those few minutes?
yes, most definitely. What
I'm
what
probably
other
jumping ahead, but my
yeah,
favourite scene of the film, and this does tie in because it includes some other iterations, is where
okay.
they're on the sort of the beach again with all her friends.
Yeah, it's really
Um,
good. Yeah, yeah.
and you see someone walking,
Yeah.
but they don't realise quite yet. But then you see Micah's hair go up.
It's they see Dara walking towards them, but then one of them looks over and Dara's in the sea.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they're
it's a
like, what the
comedy.
fuck? And then yeah, but you're right, you see the hair go up. Yeah,
It's like paranormal activity moment. You just see her hair come up, and she's just like, "Oh, what the hell?"
yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
and then you see the other iteration, which is a little boy.
Yeah, I think that's is that supposed to be the neighbor, near the start where
Oh
Jay's in the
God.
swimming pool
Oh, yeah, you
and the
might be
two little
right.
boys are like peeping over, perving at her. I think that is, and it's also the boy who then throws. Does he throw something at the window or throws the ball over or whatever? And then he's looking at her again. I think that's supposed to be him
That's a damn good
because
spot, Ben. I didn't pick that
because you
up.
see him again later on the bike. He's on the bike outside her house.
Wow,
So
that's a keen eye, Ben.
yeah, thank you. I really like this film.
But that's my favourite scene because that again is just an assault on the senses. It mixes in a bit of paranormal activity. They're safe and they're not. They're gone.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's one
No,
of
I
my
agree.
standouts. I like that.
And Paul goes to hit it with the chair, doesn't he? He can't see it, but he like goes to
Yeah,
hit it with the chair, and the chair like smacks back, and then it pushes him away, and
yeah,
very
yeah.
paranormal
It does do
activity
that.
feeling.
Yeah. Oh, and then she shoots him, doesn't she? But she's a terrible bloody aim.
Yeah, yeah. Shoots.
She misses like 10 times.
She nearly shoots Greg, doesn't she? Yeah, yeah.
And then
It's a
she finally
brilliant
nicks it in
scene.
the neck and does a runner.
Yeah, and then because it gets straight back up again,
Yeah.
she shoots it in the neck, and it just stands back up. Yeah,
Yeah. She got
very
directed it
scary
in like,
film. Yeah,
very
maybe.
scary. But is there any other ones to talk about? Not overly, I don't think.
There's a couple more. So you've got the naked man on the roof.
I do always think, how did he get there?
I did wonder, and why hasn't he got clothes on again? Because if you're climbing on someone's roof, if you're climbing on the roof, I'd
You need to
personally,
be clothed.
I'd want to be clothed. I'd want some kind of footwear on, definitely, without a
Don't
doubt.
want it blowing in the wind, yeah.
No, exactly. So,
I'll get a splinter.
but again, this one's quite scary. He's literally just standing there in the buff, just standing there on the roof.
Hmm. I wonder, is there some steps? Because as far as I was aware, this thing could just walk.
I've no idea.
Apparently, it can climb ladders.
Yeah, or just manifest up onto the roof. Who knows?
Maybe it's manifested. Well, that's a good
Yeah,
point. Where do you reckon it has somewhere it comes from?
I don't
Interesting.
know. And what I think one of the good points of this film is that you don't know.
Mm.
That could be seen as
That would be
either
cool when it's some sort of layer.
yeah, potentially. I mean, it could be a positive or a negative, couldn't it? Some people, I think, not knowing would see it as a negative, but personally, I think it works for the film. I think it's
Oh, I prefer not knowing. Definitely, they've done it the
yeah,
right way.
yeah,
It just makes you
because
think, which I quite like.
yeah, because so it has one more sort of version, doesn't it, of the swimming pool one near the end.
Yeah,
So that's her dad, isn't it? So again, you start thinking, is this somehow connected to the death of her dad, or you know,
yeah, because that bit reminded me of As Above, So Below. Because obviously,
okay,
in that film, her dad commits suicide,
Oh
and
yeah,
one of the
yeah,
scary visions she sees is him hanging.
yeah.
And it
Good
really
point.
just gave me vibes from that.
Yeah, no, it's a nice one. Well, not a nice one, but that's a good. Yeah, it's a good spot.
See, I'm very refined, but that's also one of my favorite movies, so we need to do that soon.
I've only
Um,
seen that once. I'm definitely up for doing that, though. I love a bit of found footage, as you know. And
so good, isn't it?
you put me on to that, didn't you? It is very good. Yeah,
So good. And we got to speak to
underrated.
one of the actors, but that's a different episode. We'll get back to that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Underrated as well, but a bit like this one. I think this is a bit underrated. So,
I think it's
um,
underrated. Absolutely. As I say, no
cool.
one really talks about it, and they should. Sorry, tangents.
No, it's okay. I think we've covered all the manifestations of this demon ghost. What? I mean, like you said, what is it, man? What do we call it? We don't even know what to call it.
It.
It. We can't say it. That's probably trademarked, isn't it? You know.
Uh,
So, although they say it
Thingamabob.
follows. Bob.
Leroy
Get a
Jenkins, we'll
mouthful.
call it.
Leroy Jenkins, brilliant. Love
Yeah.
that. Should have worn your Leroy
Leroy.
Jenkins t-shirt.
No, yeah, I should have done,
Um,
shouldn't
yeah, yeah, right. So we've covered, yeah, the iterations of the ghostly demon, the presence, the entity, the whatever
I?
you want to call it, the poltergeist. I don't know.
Yeah.
The
Do you want
acting,
to
I
talk
think, in
about
this,
performances?
yeah, yeah, I do actually. Thank you.
Well, that's good.
So the acting in this, I think, is very natural. Is very
Yeah.
good. I think.
Yeah, yeah. There's no awkward moments. There's no overacting. Um,
No,
I think they hit the nail on the head. Considering they're all quite young, done a damn good job. And I haven't seen. I might be wrong, but I don't remember seeing any of these actors in anything else before. I'm sure they were, but I didn't see it.
I'd seen. I think this might have been after though. I'd seen the guy who plays Paul, Keir Gilchrist. I'd seen him in something on Netflix called
Oh,
Atypical, which is like a
okay.
family drama about. They have a teenage son with autism who is played by
Okay.
Keir Gilchrist. Um,
Oh,
so yeah, it's about how they cope, and it's about his life basically, and how he
okay.
gets through school and college and stuff like that. So I'd seen him in that, but that might have been after this come out. Um,
Maybe.
Michael Monroe obviously became a bigger star, a bigger name from this. And I'm
Yeah,
thinking this is probably the first thing that I saw her in.
I think so.
But I think
I
the
can't
way
think of
she
anything else she was in
conveys,
before.
I think what's very good about her in this is the way she conveys emotion. I think she's just very good
Yeah.
at that in this.
Yeah,
Um,
sorry, no, I thought you were saying something else there. No, I completely agree. But she's really subtle with it. Like it's not, as I say, this one's really,
yeah,
I don't know how to word it. It doesn't do anything too big, but it does it excellently and it fits together. And that includes especially Micah's acting because she's
yeah,
spot on. And especially the slow-mo scary bit where she gets really terrified. You can generally still see she's terrified. I don't know if she's obviously acting, but
mm,
just an outstanding performance from herself. And as
yeah.
you touched on Gilchrist as well, I thought he was amazing in this. Does such a good job.
Yeah, no, I'd agree. I think everyone does a good job.
Hmm.
Obviously, just from how he's acting, you can tell that he's obsessed with her and that kind of thing, can't you? And he just wants nothing more than to be with her. You know,
They
they
do.
even go back and they talk about like they've been friends forever and they are each other's first kiss, but then he kissed her sister and stuff
Oh,
like that. Um,
yeah. I
yeah,
mean,
and it
he's
all
so obsessed with
felt,
her that
yeah, yeah,
he will happily take the demon just so he can sleep with her.
yeah, exactly. And I was going to come on to that actually. So when they do eventually then sleep together and it's gone on to him,
Hmm.
you then see him driving through the old sort of red light district as such, don't you? Where all the sex
Yeah.
workers are, and you think, okay, he's going to sleep with one of those ladies of the night or whatever you want to call them.
Hmm.
But I don't actually think he goes through with it
No, no, I don't think so.
because you see at the end they're walking, and like you said, someone's following them.
Hmm.
Jay's smiling, he's not. Now, if you've
So
got rid
he's
of the
subtle.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. His acting and stuff is great as well because that's what I picked up from it. He knows in his mind he hasn't told her that he hasn't got rid of it, and I
Yep,
think
true.
this could be an inroad to how they do the sequel.
Okay.
So because
Well, he's been evading it for 10 years.
we know that if the demon kills sort of the latest person, it will then go after the one before that. So
Yeah.
Micah Monroe has signed on for the sequel.
Oh, thank God.
Well, I'm sure she has. I might have to double check that, but
She
I'm pretty
better.
sure same director, and I'm pretty sure she'd
Okay.
sign on for it as well. So if she's in it, I'm thinking maybe it goes for Paul, gets Paul and then comes back for her. But then are
That's
we
kind
just
of also
gonna?
sad.
But then are we just gonna have a repeat?
Can't be, can that? The only other thing I thought they may be able to do was it wouldn't be one it, there'd be multiple. That was the only other thing that you could maybe do, like they follow or something.
It's funny you should say that actually, because the sequel is called They Follow.
No, you'd think I knew that, but I actually didn't. So I'm just super clever.
That's all right. It was kind of quietly announced a little while ago. So
I'm impressed with myself, to be honest. I pat myself on the
yeah,
back.
yeah. Right. I think we've
I'm glad
covered
they went that route
most.
with it, though. I'm glad they've gone
Yeah,
that way with it because that for me would be the right way to do it.
definitely.
Although,
Yeah.
can you capture the same awkwardness and fear if there's multiple? I don't know.
Maybe, maybe. It's hard to say, isn't it? I mean, this, like we've said right at the start, this is a top class film for me, but others don't see it that
Mm.
way. So I think it is a bit of a mixed opinion kind of film,
Yeah, I guess.
unfortunately.
I mean, I doubt it'll ever be as good as the first one. I just hope they try and stick to the same sort of, feel and vibe of the original.
Yeah, I think they will because it's the same director, so I'm sure they'll try to stick to the same aesthetic. And that's one of the other things I did want to touch on. I think this film looks incredible for the budget
Yeah.
it has. I don't know who did the camera work and stuff, but some of the shots in this film are they are extremely artistic.
Mm.
Um, I just love it. The whole look of the film, the whole vibe. What you said about you don't really know when it's set. There's some really nice, soft, warm lighting in it at times. It's really well framed.
Hmm.
There's yeah,
You
such
touched
good
on it as well with the
cinematography.
wheelchair camera shot. That kind of doesn't fit with the rest of it, but it works.
Yeah, it's completely out of character for the film, but it worked for that scene.
Yeah,
It put you in that dizzying mode of, well, what's going on here?
yeah.
So
And I like that's why I've said it a few times, but the subtlety of this, in fact, that something scary could happen at any moment in time, and also the fear, the evil, the fear is it's always coming. Like even though
yeah,
you can't see it, it's on its way, and I think that's what
yeah,
really builds up the
definitely.
fear. I did want to ask a little question on that actually.
Yeah,
Is
go for it.
so you can pass it on by sleeping with someone. Um,
Hmm.
so when you pass it on, you can obviously relax a little bit, but that's like a life curse though, because if it was me, I would never be able to relax because even if you sleep with 100 people, if it gets
Yeah.
all of those people,
Yeah, it's coming
it's
back.
coming from it. You can never, and you don't know as
Yeah,
well. But you
yeah,
don't.
exactly. I mean, it's like when,
Yeah.
yeah, when Greg, no, not Greg, sorry, Jeff, he's sitting in the garden, isn't he, with them
Yeah.
after they've found out who he is.
Did
Um,
you see that?
Actually, I wanted to touch on this, yeah, because they go to his house, they find out where he lives, what his name is,
Yeah.
and they go to his house, and it's all newspaper at the windows. He's got beer cans hanging up, so like to make noise if anyone's about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Paul finds the photo in the porno mag of Jeff slash Hugh and some girl. Well, I was thinking, I think that girl was supposed to be Annie from the start of the
Yeah.
film, which is
You're right. I had
why.
to look this up. I wish I just knew, but I had to look it up. But you're right.
But that's why he knew what was going on because obviously he'd slept with Annie. He'd then seen Annie die. Well, not seen her die, but he'd known she was dead, and now he's
Yeah.
seeing it again. So there we go.
Yeah.
So that is a clever open and a nice, yeah, segue back to that.
Really good way of tying it in. And
Yes.
also got another thing I want to mention is I read up on a little fan theory on this,
Mm.
and it was just touching on you're sort of saying why are the victims naked and why are they old and
Yeah,
all this
yeah,
stuff. Obviously, Jeff Hughes says it can take any form, blah blah blah
yeah.
blah. But actually, the theory is that that's not true. The visions actually take on the victim's subconscious. So
Uh, okay,
with
right.
Jay, where she was like, essentially, I know she obviously willingly slept with him, but in essence, it is almost sexual abuse because it was under false pretenses. So she was and then obviously she was dumped, and the whole thing was horrific for her. So
Yeah,
that's why she sees quite like the one titty girl in the. She looks like
right.
something like that could have happened to her.
That's an interesting fan
Really good
theory,
theory.
actually. Yeah, I like that. That makes perfect sense.
And if that's true, the director tried purposely to mislead us, which is
I
very
like it.
clever.
Yes, it is indeed. I like it. But I suppose, again,
It's a
that's why
really
when she's in the pool at the end and she starts seeing her dad throwing the appliances at her.
yeah. See, yeah,
And
could have
then
been a
and
bit of
then when
domestic
he
abuse there.
and then when Paul shoots and he falls in the lake, falls in the swimming pool, grabs her
Yeah.
leg, doesn't he? And then she climbs out, she's got bruising around her leg. Is that insinuating abuse from her father? Yeah.
Oh, it's getting deeper, isn't it?
This is an onion. And you taught me that.
It's an onion.
This is an
It's a
onion of
damn
a
good
movie.
onion.
I feel like, I mean, I watched it again yesterday because we were going to record before, weren't we? Like
Yeah.
yesterday. So I watched it again. I got all ready, done on my notes because I like to prepare and, the way my brain is, as you all know by now. I watched it again and then I feel like I could watch it again like after this though and still enjoy every single second.
Yeah. I feel like I need to watch it and take notes now.
Do it and then
Because I
show me
enjoy
your
this thing
notes.
so much, I just
So
watch it and I almost switch off to it.
show me your notes after.
Here
I
they
want to
are.
see. I want to see your work. Yeah, yeah. I
Here's
thought
my
you were going to be
notes.
like, here they are.
I would never.
On the next one,
Do
make one note just for me.
you know what my note will be?
It'll be fuck off.
I don't take notes, is what my note will be.
Good point. Yeah, touche.
Oh, I should.
Right, let's move it on. I was going to say just quickly though, one more thing about the camera. I noticed at one point, and this touches on where the young neighbour boys are looking over the fence at Jay and stuff.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
couple of other camera shots that come across as a bit voyeuristic as well,
Mm.
which again is a bit Halloween vibes, or just a bit that the demon is just always there watching.
Mm.
So talking of
I
watching,
like it.
no,
Yeah.
no, only kidding, only kidding.
Just so
Right.
happens.
I think we've pretty much have we wrapped up everything? Pretty
Yeah, and there was
much.
one thing I wanted to do to mention, though, something else I've read up on is the director's idea for this film, where that came from.
Okay.
Um, and it was essentially a dream he had. He had a dream that a predator was walking towards him constantly, trying to get him.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then he turned it into this.
See, why can't we have
Basically,
dreams like that?
I know. Well, yeah. That's not
Well,
what my
yeah.
last dream was about. It certainly wasn't a great epic movie that I could then make. Even if you have a dream, first you've got to remember it, and then you've got to turn it into this piece of art. I mean, we're not that good.
We're not that good. No, not yet.
No,
Not yet.
no.
No. And we've actually recently found out just how fucking hard making a film is.
It's a bloody
So
nightmare.
yeah, even making a short film is taken us like a year and a half. So
I mean, more getting four people together seems to be the hardest work. But
that's probably it, mate.
yeah.
But yeah, yeah.
But the point is that
Anyways,
hopefully, we've become so mega famous from it that we can quit our day jobs and then just be celebrities.
who knows?
Mm.
Who knows? I've just thought of another thing. I'm sorry. I've got one more scene I want to talk about. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
And then,
There's a scene where they're all in Greg's car. I think it's after she runs off from the house after the tall man bit, and
oh
then
yeah,
Greg's slowly walking towards them, and they're like, "Can you see that guy?" And then like he's like, "Oh, just gonna go off and get my car." Or it might be when they're driving to the swimming pool. Is Greg still
isn't that
there?
when they're in the
No,
park?
Greg's dead then, isn't he? What's that?
Yeah, isn't that when they're in the park?
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, it's a bit where they're all in the car, Greg's driving, and
Yeah.
nobody's talking. There's no noise coming from the car. There's just this crazy quiet ambience kind of, and there's a little bit of music
Oh.
playing in the background, but nobody's talking. There's no car. There's no engine sounds coming from the car, and it is
Mm.
again, it's very, very stylish and very
Yeah.
um, not affecting, but it's effective. Maybe it's very effective at that point of
Yeah, consumes you a little
sitting in the
bit. You get sucked
moment
into the
of
environment.
yeah, that's it. It's just sitting in the moment and realizing kind of the shit that's going on. And again, I think
Which you
this
would do in
is
real life, wouldn't you?
yeah,
That's
yeah,
exactly how you would be.
yeah. But again, I think that's part of what makes this film feel unique. And there is other curse style films out there, but they
Hmm,
just don't have the style or the substance of this one, I believe. Like obviously I'm a big fan of The Ring. That's passing on a
definitely,
curse
yeah.
via a watched videotape. And
Yeah.
then obviously you've got It Follows, and then jumping ahead, you've recently had Smile and Smile 2, which
Hmm.
again is passing on a curse in a various way. So, but I don't know. I just think It Follows nails it perfectly.
Yeah, I was just going to agree, really. This one does it differently and it does it right. Like, I like Smile, don't get me wrong, and I
Yeah.
love The Ring, but it follows just it doesn't care about any of those things. I know they're separate times and stuff, but it just
Mm.
does its own thing and it nails it.
Yeah. It feels like its own thing. It feels like itself. It has a unique vibe.
It's that, yeah, as I said it before, it's just that constant fear that they have, that the viewer has. You know, it's always coming. It never
Yeah.
stops. Like, and that's really powerful stuff.
We're gonna have to stop soon because it's scaring me a little bit, mate. You know.
Listen to me, man. This I'm sounding too deep. I don't like it. Say something stupid. There you go.
That you sound absolutely brilliant. We're both big fans of this film, so it's nice. It's nice to be so passionate about film. I think you know.
And we agree on something, which is nice.
Yeah, which makes a change. Yeah.
Do we
Also,
do
funnily
ratings on
enough,
that note?
what's that?
Do we do our ratings on this one now then?
We yeah. Okay, let's do ratings. I think we're done. I think we're done. Do you want to go first or do you want to go second?
I'll go first.
Okay.
9 out of 10.
Hey, love that. Do you know what I'm
It's
going to give it?
some. No, go on.
10.
You actually give it 10.
I'm giving this 10 out of 10. Yeah.
Jesus, you gave
I
a higher
was
rating than me.
I was thinking about this a lot and I cannot think of any faults at all with it.
Wow. See, I've got a
Like I
couple
say.
of thoughts where I've just touched on it. It's some of them. I think it's where I've watched it a couple of times. So watching it
Hmm,
once, it's 10 out of 10. Watching it a couple of times, it's just some of the slow spells where she's in the pool. Um, yes, I can't remember the exact ones, but yeah, just there's some
yeah.
lulls in there where it's just a bit too slow for me.
That's fine, but I think I'm going to go off on one again. I think
Yeah,
what this film does really well, not just the soundtrack, which is phenomenal by
yeah,
Disaster Piece, US composer. He actually makes music for films and video games.
nice.
Um, but it's not just the music; it's the silence. This film uses silence really well
Yeah, it does. Yeah,
to
it's
build
really subtle
tension
with its
as well.
tension.
Yeah, so but I better stop now anyway because we'll be here for about four
No, that's
hours.
amazing. 10 out of 10 though, Ben.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 is I think it's probably in my top five all-time horror films.
I was easily that's my top three for sure.
Really? Wow. And you only give it
Yeah,
nine.
easy. Well, yeah, just because of I feel bad about it. 9.5. I'm reviewing 9.5 because
Okay.
I think the slow spells aren't quite a whole point deduction. So yeah, I'll go 9.5.
Yeah.
Just
Nice. I
a couple
was
of especially it's just the pool bits where she's floating around. I'm like, well, just do something. Who cares about an ant? She picks up an ant out of the water. I don't care.
Yeah, she does, doesn't she, actually? I was going to be an idiot and give it like 9.8. And I thought, no, fuck it. Let's go full 10. Full 10.
Yeah, I'm going. I
So,
feel good with 9.5. That feels right. 9 felt unfair.
yeah. Good shout.
You
I'm
should
so
get a
happy
tattoo of it
we
follows then.
I should. I will. But what one? Maybe the naked guy on my arm,
The guy on the roof.
Yeah, can you imagine? I just come
No, you
take
want to
my
get the
top
one
off and
titty lady.
it's just all down my back or something, yeah.
Back
Lots of
piece of a
space on
naked old
there.
man on a roof.
Yeah. It could be you naked on the roof. There you go.
Pervert.
I don't know what to say to that.
I wouldn't make it on the roof, mate.
Yeah, it's going to take some effort getting up there. But
Too bad for
right,
me.
yeah, I think we have pretty much done.
I'm good with that.
Just putting one of my many sticky notes over here, just because
I
I'm
have nothing today.
organized.
I had some technical issues, it being that I forgot all of the software that I would need to do this podcast. So I've done
Still
all right, I
good.
think.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear you, so hopefully everyone else can hear you. And if they can't, it's just going to be like me talking for an hour and a half.
Hopefully
So
that episode doesn't do really well, and then I'm like, oh shit,
who knows? Let's hope it does do really well.
I'll be out of a hobby.
Yeah. Right. Should we tell
One day
everyone
I can
what's
say
coming
job.
up? Should we tell what? Sorry. Should we tell everyone what's coming up next?
Rewind. Yeah, let's do that.
So last year for our Christmas episode, we done something kind of crazy and spoke about loads of Christmas horror films, loads of them. Got the night to what I don't know how many did we watch? 15 Christmas horrors or something.
It was a lot. It was good fun.
It
But it
was a
was a lot.
lot. It was a lot, and it was probably a bit too much. So instead of that, this time we're going to pick a recent horror that has a Christmassy theme. So you might be able to guess
Yeah, go on,
what's
guess. See you later.
yeah. So it's one that came out. Was it late October?
Yeah,
It is,
yeah.
of course, Terrifier 3.
Hell yeah.
Should put in a big way, a big cheer and a clap there.
More like a
So,
clown horn.
oh yeah, yeah, good point. I like what you did there.
Mm,
I like what you did
mm,
there.
mm.
So yeah, we're going to cover Terrifier 3 as our Christmas episode, and then heading into the new year, we're going to do a best horrors of 2024. Which I don't think
Damn
we've
good.
done a best of kind of like a year review sort of one, have we before? We haven't
No,
done
I
a best
don't.
of.
No, I mean our intro episode we went through the ones we loved, but it's not the same. So yeah, this will be a good one.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, there you go. I hope you enjoy this episode, guys. And girls, sorry it took us so long to get something out there. We are, as you know,
Ben's fault.
not going to bang on about it, but we are currently in the process of making a very short movie as well. So
Mm. And
that's
also it's
taken a.
Ben's fault. So,
It's my fault. Why is it? Why is it my fault?
don't know. Just easier
And
to
right.
not accept it's my fault. So,
Fair enough. I'll take that. It's my fault, guys. Many
yeah,
apologies, but thank you for listening. We do appreciate every like, every share, every follow, every listen, all that.
damn straight. And if you
And
want to listen on Spotify, go and give us a subscribe on YouTube. I never said that before.
oh yeah,
Go and
yeah, good
subscribe on
point. Yeah,
YouTube.
come see us on YouTube. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
novices at this YouTube lark, and we're old, so
Go
you
do
know,
that like and follow thing. I'm not doing
yeah,
that because
like.
I hate it.
Well, you did it.
But subscribe. Subscribe for sure.
There you go. Subscribe. We'll put some stuff out on there every now and again, and hopefully it looks half decent.
Yeah, we started doing a little bit of video game, didn't we? A little bit of streaming, a little bit of
Yes, we.
twitching.
Funnily enough, yeah, we played Phasmophobia for the first time last night, didn't we?
Yeah. It was a shit show, but it was good damn fun.
It was a shit show, but I also nearly shut myself a couple of times as well. So yeah, it was good
I mean, I
fun.
went to hiding in cupboards a lot because it was too much for me.
Yeah, I mostly just didn't have a clue what I was doing because you said don't play it, wait for you. So I didn't. I didn't
Yeah.
even do the tutorial. So I
Oh, I did that.
literally, yeah, see, I was being an idiot. I literally went in completely fucking blind, mate. So
But that'll be on. We've got to do a bit of work to get that on YouTube, but that'll be on YouTube next week, hopefully.
yeah, we streamed it to two separate Twitch channels. So both myself and Grant have our own Twitch under the Horror Movie Maniacs name. I'm
BPGH.
Horror Movie Maniacs BP, and yeah, Grant's Horror Movie Maniacs GH. So when we are playing games, you can see the same game, but from both of our perspectives, which I think is
Yeah.
quite cool.
And
You know,
it's really cool. And the YouTube, I think, I'm gonna do a bit of split screen viewing on that one.
yeah, that sounds good, man. Like I say, I've got to get my head around all the technological side of it and the video editing, and also my laptop is garbage and it's about 8 years old, so I've
Elderly.
got to get some dollar power and upgrade my kit. But yeah,
Yeah, so subscribe, and then we can get Ben a new laptop.
that weren't a beg, that weren't an ask from me, but from him.
It's like a just giving, isn't it?
Yeah,
Subscribe
there you
and
go.
help the needy.
So for Christmas, all I'd like is no, no. Anyways, right, let's wrap this shit up. So
Yeah.
thank you very much once again, everybody. We will see you very soon.
See you later.